Hi, everyone. I'm excited to have Nikhil Joshi with us today. Nikhil's an absolute force in the world of digital design. He's the co-founder of Digital Jalebi, a studio that's really at the forefront of interactive experiences. He started out with a strong design background and quickly saw how new technologies could completely change the way corporates and brands connect with people. Digital Jalebi, under Nikhil's guidance, has become known for these amazing, almost magical installations that mix art, technology, and design. They've done over 500 projects with some of the biggest names out there, including Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. Nikhil's got a unique perspective on the future of this field. Today we'll get into exciting career opportunities in digital and experiential design, what it takes to really succeed, and Nikhil's advice for students who want to break in. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Nikhil. So Nikhil, in simple terms, how would you explain digital design to someone who might be unfamiliar with the field?
I think the most easiest way of understanding digital design is to look at all the computing devices around you. And computing devices are not just mobile phones, laptops, they're also your washing machines, your coffee makers. And understand that somebody is sitting in between the design of the interfaces and the technology. So digital design primarily means that you design the experience between a machine and the person and constantly think of how the person in different scenarios will use it, and it's not constrained to just digital devices like mobile phones and laptops. Yeah.
So how has it changed now?
This is complete because the devices are constantly getting smarter and smarter. So we nowadays say that you don't have to just design for technology, you design for AI also. As in, you know that the device knows much more about you than you think, and then you design for it. So a coffee machine can understand what kind of coffee you like. So even without touching the coffee machine, whenever you are in the proximity or maybe you speak to your phone, your coffee is already prepared. So this constant transformation, I think designers have to equip themselves with all the new technologies to understand how design for these new age smart products can happen. And that's the entire game. Constantly observe, look at what's happening around you, look at how technology is evolving at the fundamental level and how you can help use that technology in the products around you to make them more smarter and effortless for the human beings.
Okay. And what sparked your own passion in digital design? How did you get into the business?
I started with a bachelor's in animation, and that's where like the entire creativity came in. Then I started developing games, and games is such a beautiful thing between technology and design. Games allow a lot of user engagement. It allowed me to understand how computers think, how you can make people spend a lot of time with computers, how it gives you all these emotions of both fear, when maybe you feel competition with others. I think that's how I came into game design. And from game design, I realized that I need to know more about how computers think, how design between technology and people should happen. And that's where I got into new media design. I did a master's from NID. And yeah, rest, I just came out of the institute, started a company, and for last 11 years, we are just exploring the interactions between humans and technology.
All right. India is emerging as a major hub for digital design. What are some of the most exciting career opportunities you see in the horizon for young designers?
I think all sort of designers, and they don't have to term themselves as just designers. They are strategists, they are the media people, they are communication people. All these people are at some level designing conscious interactions between people and how you perceive a particular brand. It could be the product of the brand, it could be its advertisement, it could be a poster designed by the brand. So there are so many possibilities of these strategists whom actually at an underlying level, these are brilliant designers from various fields in design who are helping a brand communicate at several levels. One of the designers is designing an exhibit, other one is designing the product, other one is designing the logo of the brand, other one is designing advertisement. So there are so many designers at play who are working as proper strategists, like the management strategists who help drive a particular product or the brand. So I think the designers are the people who decide whether you buy or you interact with the product.
Right.
That they are the people who understand the holy grail of how you perceive the world and how they can actually make you buy some product.
Many parents worry about unconventional career paths. Could you address the growth potential and real-world applications of digital design careers?
I think design itself gives you a lot of opportunity. Like I said, you are a strategy. You're not just a designer. You're not in a linear job flow. It's not an objective-driven job where you have to complete your task, maybe like an engineer. You have out there an open world to sort of creatively look at a brand and say, I will strategize and make sure more people walk into the showroom. I would design a product that is more usable. I think there is no, it's kind of limitless for a designer, and the designer has this independence of choosing the role he has in the company rather than somebody telling him what role he will come into, because the entire impact of a design strategy could completely change the future of a product. So I think massive potential. I think you shouldn't be looking, and while you're searching Google, don't look at designations like senior designer, junior. I think everywhere across the industry there would be a designer who would, or a person who has turned into designer over the years. Maybe he did civil engineering 20 years back. Now he has actually groomed himself into a designer who's taking these strategic decisions. What are these strategic decisions? These are actually the understanding of that one designer of how people react to the real world. So they design a product or they design a communication campaign to understand, okay, people will like it, people have this problem. So constantly there is a designer at play, and it's limitless how many opportunities are there. Actually, you have to go out there and define the opportunity for yourself. You can be a VP of the company, you can turn out to be a CEO of the company.
Right.
I don't think there's any stopping for a designer today in any kind of market.
So could you provide us some insights into average salary ranges and earning potential for different levels of experience in this field?
So, though I come from an entrepreneurial background, so I don't necessarily work on a salary model, but over the last 11 years, having seen a lot of my friends doing jobs in big corporates, I have seen salary ranges from, so for a person with a decade-long experience, an average salary in India for a good designer is anywhere between 40 lakhs to 1 crore. And that's a tremendous amount of salary. And these are factual figures that I know from people around in my circles. So a great designer can earn a salary which will be far more difficult for an engineering student to maybe reach in next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. For an entry-level designer, the salaries start from anywhere between 7 lakhs to 12 lakhs. Completely depends on the skill set and the type of design background he has. Nowadays, digital design is more invited in the industry. You get paid more for digital design. So a product designer might get a 7 LPA offer, but at the same level, a designer in digital realm, which is a UI UX designer, game art designer, any kind of person who's working with digital product could be between 8 lakhs to 12 lakhs easily.
So what advice would you give students who are passionate about design but unsure about specializing in digital field?
I think you should start with fundamentals. Till today, when I sit in large meetings where we are negotiating really 7-figure projects, sense of understanding of colors, shapes, these are very fundamental to a designer. If you don't have those, even those fancy meetings where you're dealing with like super heavy stuff, doing great decisions, big business decisions, it all starts with very, very basic fundamentals. Everyone should start with very fundamental design principles, aesthetics, colors, shapes, forms, and then slowly over a period of time you will understand where your inclination is. Maybe you are someone who's intrigued by form, so you go into tangible design. Maybe you are someone who's intrigued by digital interfaces, games, game art. Right. I think you should, just like water, you should let yourself flow in the first 18 months of your design education, and you will reach somewhere. You don't have to define it in the study.
Right. If a student's interested in exploring digital design, what resources or first steps would you recommend they take?
I think they should go to a good design institute and learn fundamentals of design. That's how you unlock your mind. You start observing things. Your design institute should expose you to several kind of design techniques, what kind of design opportunities are available, what all design disciplines are there, and if you can get subtle exposure of, say, some amount of automobile design, some amount of product design, textile design, print design, communication design, digital, audio, I think that's how you get all the ingredients of understanding what design world entails, and from there on, I think you can start choosing what you want to become as a designer. A great way is to go through work of great designers, famous designers, go to library, spend time flipping through books, watch great movies. I think, in my personal opinion, movies is the best amalgamation of what designers can do. You have audio design, set design, graphic design, cinematography. You have literally every form of design discipline coming together. And if you can critically learn how to evaluate a movie, I think you've explored some amount of designer in you. If you can do that, and from there on, with your studies, you will know where you want to reach in maybe 18 months, 2 years time.
All right. What's the most unexpected or quirky request you've received from a client for an interactive experience?
Interesting. I think I remember this one project where one of our clients, who the management team, the owners are very religious, and they wanted to do this diya ceremony. And they wanted us to digitize the diya ceremony, and it gave us a huge challenge because the lighting up of diya to open a ceremony, everybody wants to do it physically, like the Indian Hindu ritual, but they wanted to
a
do
virtual
it,
puja.
And that too on web.
Okay.
So we actually conceptualized something on our website. It was during the COVID times, because they were hell-bound on having a diya ceremony before the start of the event, and it gave us a lot of challenge. I don't remember what we finally did, but yeah, this was so this tells us how deeply rooted our customs are, and designers are not independent of the world they live in. If you don't understand the importance of a diya ceremony, you will never be able to design one.
Right.
So constantly, I always say students that you have to observe and absorb. So you constantly observe. We are consumers. We consume everything. So there's this famous question that is that gets asked in design exams, that just rewrite the flow of how ATM interactions are. Nobody remembers that.
Right.
You just go, punch in everything, whatever comes. You never absorb anything. You just consume. Duck, 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 duck. You go through it. If I ask you to rewrite the entire flow, 95% of the people miss out on that.
Right.
So you have to constantly ask your mind that I am observing. I go to a bus, I observe how people get seated, what is the design like, why they have design. You constantly ask questions to yourself. That's how you become an encyclopedia of observations. And then one day somebody will come and say, design a logo for a bus. Somebody will say, do a diya ceremony in virtual. And that's the time a great design. In a practical design scenario, we hardly get time to research.
Right.
We have to quickly come up with ideas, and you have to build that encyclopedia, and you to quickly come back to the client with ideas. So yeah, so we get a lot of awkward requests, but I would say it's awkward. It's just that people have started expecting with by digital designers they meet. These are the people who can literally do anything.
Right.
We have told them that you can do magical things in mixed reality and virtual reality, which are possible. Now their expectations are also rising. So they want to bring their customs and tell us you achieve this in your magical mixed reality technology. That's happening, and that's very interesting to deal with.
Right.